JL, how's the adjustment back home, and how many main training sessions were you getting this week?
I'll only have the one this week. We gave the players a couple of days off once we got home, and then into it today, and then travel tomorrow. So it's a short turnaround at home, but one that we think would be beneficial for us.
Are you planning for Nick Dacos at this stage, and how much does that he in particular affect your planning?
We'll have plans in place if he plays. We're expecting him and Pendlebury to play. Obviously really important players for him. So plan for their best and plan for their best players, and if they don't play, well then we'll just adjust.
Nick Dacos was dominant against you at the MCG last year and you won. He was quiet earlier in the year and you lost. How do you approach tagging someone and what it can do?
I understand some things worked for us across the two games. They were probably, in some ways, bizarre two games. We won the inside 50s here by nearly 30 and lost the game, and it was a bit the opposite at the MCG. So, Dacos part was a part of it. We've got some plans in place for him. We probably can't stop him getting the ball, but sometimes stop his efficiency. So, and on the flip side, we don't want to get too caught up in one player, because they've got a lot of dangerous players across the field, and we need to make sure we pay respect to all their players, and whilst trying to play our way. So it's a balancing act.
Is Corey Wagner healthy after that knee blow?
Yeah, it was just a bit of bone on bone in his knee, so he got a heavy knock in an area where it hurts, but he's responded really well from it.
The general health of the side at the moment, it seems like it's pretty good. There wasn't sort of anything too sinister to come out of that one?
No. We're pretty healthy at the moment, touch wood. So last couple of weeks have been a good result on the field and with injuries. So we start to get a couple of players back, which would be nice, and pretty healthy squad all up.
So changes more out of form as opposed to necessity then? Is that what you'd look to do?
Yeah, we're always looking to see if we can make the team better. There's some good performances in the waffle on the weekend. So, we'll just keep working through that.
You've been careful with Sean all year with his minutes, back-to-back travels, and you've got some six-day breaks coming up, and Mason Cox could play against his former club, who he's not very happy with. Do you look at going with a Cox this week and giving the Darcy the week off to make the most of every element of that?
We'll see how Sean's pulled up. See him at training today. He's played pretty low game time, so his body's been pulling up really well. So probably don't see that as an issue at the moment. We'll get to selection later and see what is best for the team. But we expect Sean to play.
Do you like the idea of potentially bringing a Cox in to play specifically against his old team?
We're just trying to pick the best team. That'll give us the best chance of winning. Like whether he played for him last year or not is not really relevant in my eyes. It's we're trying to pick the best team to go out there and compete really hard.
The win the other night, I know confidence is an interesting one. I'm sure you've got confidence you can beat anyone anywhere, but to quantify it and to go, these are the results we're putting up, Geelong, hiccup there, but the rest are coming through. Is there a sense around the group? What's the energy and the feel like in the current environment?
It's a funny one, because I've never felt like there hasn't been optimism around this group. I don't feel like any games last year or the year before we thought we'd go into and not be able to win if we played our way. So I don't think the confidence has necessarily changed. I think the maturity of the group has changed probably a little bit. We've been able to be a lot more level and consistent week in, week out. And I think we're starting to understand that a good week's prep usually gives you the best opportunity to perform at your best on weekend. So that the maturity in that sense is has grown, which has led to us being more consistent in game and week to week. So we're only early into the season though, and it's a challenge of the season is to embrace the monotony at times of the season and be disciplined to process. And we've challenged the players on that this week. And what I've seen they've embraced that.
So is that...
You spoke about post-game, some of the individuals, rising and stepping up, and there is some young players. You're still quite a young group. You lost that experience last year. Winning Friday night game away against Adelaide, and then this week's another Friday night game. The wins and those sort of results, what does that do for the young guys in terms of their experience as well?
Whether you win or lose, like their ability to be able to perform in an environment like that. They lean into their roles and execute their roles when we're getting challenged on the road. Real hostile, loud environment, all the momentum with the opposition, and to be able to learn from previous experiences, and probably previous experience in round one where we didn't handle that situation. And that's what footy is about, and that's what the season's about. Like, to be able to learn from your experiences, whether they're positive or negative, throughout the season, and build on what you put out each week. Whether you're a young player or you played 100 games, we showed on the weekend that we've learnt from previous experiences, and we're growing as a club.
In terms of the monotony and preparing and stuff, like to have great win on the Friday night, then have to travel the Saturday, and then not have them back until today, and only the one training session for the week. Is this the real test of, are they able to be that mature group that you want to be, to prepare well themselves?
It's a test. It's a very similar. This week's a very similar week to last week. We were on a 6-day break last week, so from game to travel came around really quickly. We've actually got an extra day this week, so we've chosen to give the players that as a bit more of a recovery day, given we had to get up early and travel back. So the week is very similar to last week. So we've had a look at it in terms of the outlay of the week, but also had a look at the ground and what we're up against in Adelaide. So. We feel like we're well placed, and there's just no excuses.
Internally, how do you celebrate an Alex Pearce smother moment like that? Do you have an award for those sorts of things? Do you highlight over and over again? Like, how do you acknowledge it?
Well, the players actually do trademark. They acknowledge trademark. It was part of our trademark package. He actually won our trademark player of the week. Not just on that effort, even though that would have played a part in some players' minds, just the way he approached the whole game. And I've probably been lost a little bit, like his desperation to smother, that was outstanding, and it was a great moment, but the way he played throughout the whole game, was able to play on some really dangerous forwards, he was really proactive, was able to win the ball back for us across the whole game. So he's in good form. We're building his game time, and he's coming off a pretty low base over the back end of pre-season, but his game's in good order. So
there's moments in every season where you look back and go, that was really, really significant, not just for the result, but for what it taught everybody else in the team. Like, for the captain to do that now and you be able to use it as a trademark and that sort of stuff, is that something you'll be able to reflect back on all year, as that's how we want to play?
Well, you always want your leaders to set the example, right? And think within our leadership group, we've got players who are set example for their younger teammates. A minute before Moose did that, Clarkey had a chip and charge where he was able to get us a stoppage at half forward, half back against 3 Adelaide players, where he's just able to charge and get a fingernail in and hold the game up for us there. So we feel like our leaders set a great example for our younger players.
Justin, you spoke about desperation. You referenced it there with Alex's act as well, but you talked also about the method and trying to improve that. Yeah. What about the method? Do you want to be more sort of reliable, I dare say?
Well, it's a bit of method, but it was also execution. Like we didn't execute well in the last 3 minutes in particular. I thought once we hit the lead in the last quarter, we had some really good plays. We created an opportunity through really good method and really good system to Vossi, and then we had another play after that from a ball up, which I thought we showed good method to keep the ball in our front half, but we had some opportunities to use our numbers and find a mark, and we just probably rushed our decision making a couple of times, and we kicked the ball out of bounds on the full 2 or 3 times in that last 3 minutes as well. So not reviewing the tape, I thought our method, our structure behind the ball was pretty sound, but you've got to match that with execution. But we didn't, but we matched it with desperation, which allowed us to hold up.
Have you definitively ruled Hayden Young out for Collingwood?
Yeah. He's gonna have another week. Yep.
Do you get anyone else? But you said Blake's getting close. Is anyone back this?
It looks like Freddie's going to be another week as well. So, yeah, they're the main two. Oscar McDonald, he'll come back and play footy this week. So, yeah, Freddie and Youngie are probably the main two.